The kingdom of heaven is like, I'm picturing Jesus saying, let's see. Okay, I got one. The kingdom of heaven is like yeast. Yeast that a person, a woman, took and hid in 3 measures of flour until all of it was leavened. Well, 3 measures of flour might sound in 2023 as though it's 3 cups, but it was actually about 50 pounds of flour. And then you got 50 pounds of flour, but then the woman hides some yeast in all that flour. So hidden in this parable is another meaning, like the yeast. So you imagine 50 pounds of flour and then the woman hides some yeast in it. It becomes like, well, do you remember that episode of I Love Lucy where Lucy accidentally makes so much bread that when she opens her oven door, it pushes, all the bread comes out of the oven and it pushes her across her kitchen into the wall on the other side. So we start with abundance and it multiplies into extravagance. And a really good laugh besides. The kingdom of heaven is like yeast. Then Jesus says, I got another one. The kingdom of heaven is like a person, like a merchant who's searching and seeking and looking. And when they find the one thing, at last they find the one thing of great price, they go and sell all they have in order to buy it. When you sell all you have, and that's what it says, you sell all you have, it's not just your merchandise, it's everything. You let go of everything. You're no longer a merchant, you've become something new. When you spend your whole life seeking one thing, and then you find something else. You spend your whole life being one thing, a merchant, and then you become something new. You spend your whole life living one way, and then you pivot to a new path. Something so valuable, so precious, so right, so true, that you empty yourself of everything else, even the identity that got you to this place. Later, I'm going to ask you what resonates for you, but friends, this resonates for me because I spent 30 years in IT. 30 years in IT, searching, seeking, and let go of it all. And it was scary. But anyhow, and now here I am with you, the precious pearl of great price. Anyway, so then there's Jesus, and he says, I got another one. The kingdom of heaven is like a net thrown into the sea, which collects fish of every kind. You might have expected only certain fish, but you get so much more. The kingdom of heaven is like, and Jesus looks out and he sees some farmers. And he says, it's like a treasure buried in a field. Just like Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz, right? In the end, perhaps we're going to find that the kingdom's in our own backyard, in our own home, with Auntie M, right under our noses, right within eyesight. Maybe that's where it is, if we only had ears to hear it. The kingdom of heaven is... one more. Yes, the kingdom of heaven is like a mustard seed. A mustard seed, yeah, that must be it, that someone took and sowed in their field. It is the smallest of all seeds, but when it is grown, it is the greatest of shrubs and becomes a tree, so that the birds of the air come and make nests. So let's say you find a seed. That would be me. I find a seed and I don't know what the heck it is. So you know what you do with the seed that you don't know what the heck it is? You leave it alone and it becomes what it is meant to be. Kind of like when you meet someone And you can't tell. You can't make out this person. You can't figure them out. Maybe you can't tell what gender they are or what their politics exactly is. You can't put your finger on it. And so you leave them alone to be what they are meant to be. Sometimes the kingdom of heaven is like that too. It's like, well, it's like friends shaking hands saying, "How do you do?" They're really saying, "I love you." It's like you and you and you and you and you. It's like a woman named Mary who lovingly cares for so many people, including us. It's like a woman in Dublin who trips upon this crazy group, this ragtag cluster of people on Zoom. It's like a person, a parent, a preacher who's going through the most difficult days of his life while also being beloved and precious, a treasure, a pearl. It's like you on your best day and your worst day and every day in between. It's like people who promise to welcome all where all means all. Eye has not seen, ear has not heard what God has ready for those who love God. And so I ask you, what is your version of the kingdom of heaven? And then I ask you, when the one true God appears to you in a dream tonight and says, "Ask something of me and I will give it to you," how will you answer and manifest your kingdom of heaven?